In a luxurious mansion in Donghai City, the situation is looking pretty tense. Inside, two famous doctors are arguing over a young woman's condition. One thinks it's a virus, while the other insists it's epilepsy. Arguing back and forth, Dr. Shi suggests taking the girl to the hospital, but Old Feng shoots that down, saying she's already been checked out there. Watching this endless bickering, the head of the Dingshan group, Yang Ding, is getting annoyed that they can't reach a decision. Right at that moment, our MC opens the door and asks for Yang Ding directly, catching everyone by surprise. Completely shocked by the intrusion, the staff questions how the kid even got in, but he calmly introduces himself as Lu Feng. With a slight smirk, our slick MC even gets a little cocky, telling them they can call him Brother Feng. Hearing that name, the big boss of the house gets thoughtful, trying to remember where he's heard it before. Then suddenly, a memory hits him and he panics, yelling for them to stop. But it was too late, as his two bodyguards were already lunging at the kid with their fists ready. Without even flinching, our boy faces the warm welcome with pure sass. Then with quick and precise movements, he dodges and hits the pressure points of both brutes at the same time. Completely frozen in mid-air, the guards have no idea what just happened, unable to move a muscle. Realizing the huge mistake he just made, the group's president just facepalms in total embarrassment. Meanwhile, Lu Feng sits down on the couch casually, explaining he was just practicing his skills to stay sharp. Walking over to the couch, Yang Ding finally asks if our MC was recommended by Immortal Li, and the kid confirms the whole story. Nodding his head, the homeowner says he's eager to see what he can do. Standing up full of confidence, our MC says he's good at both saving people and taking them out, and that without his permission, nobody checks out on his watch. But the older doctor tries to step in, saying the young woman's condition is too complicated for some random kid to diagnose. Looking pretty worried, everyone there questions what they would do if the girl's condition got worse because of him. Turning to the two specialists, our boy simply scoffs at their concern, saying they might be tough, but they have a very limited view. Totally ticked off by his audacity, the two tell the kid not to be so arrogant. Ignoring the warning, Lu Feng shows them a needle he had stuck in the guard and asks if they know how to do that. With a smug smile on his face, he makes it clear that this is proof he's stronger than both of them. Putting pressure on the girl's father, our MC warns that any delay will only make the patient's situation worse. With no other choice, Old Feng huffs, saying he wants to see exactly what this kid is capable of. Once in the young woman's room, the specialist is still doubtful, questioning if he can even use needles on people since he's only practiced on animals. Arriving at the bedside, our MC finds the young Yang Shaiwen, who is completely unconscious. Watching from afar, the doctor complains that the kid didn't even ask about her symptoms and went straight to checking her pulse. But upon seeing the technique, the traditional medicine doctor is stunned, recognizing the move as the legendary god's finger. Explaining what the god's finger is, Old Feng reveals it to be a magical and legendary technique, mentioned only in ancient books. With no patience for small talk, our MC tells them both to shut up, because he needs silence so he won't be disturbed. Focusing his energy, the kid makes dozens of needles float around him, creating an impressive blue aura. Seeing this, the old doctor panics as he recognizes the legendary 8-inch needle, barely believing his eyes. At that very moment, the girl on the bed finally opens her eyes, seeming to have regained a bit of consciousness. Still not getting any of it, Dr. Shai asks in a low voice what that needle is and what it does. Deep in thought, Old Feng prepares to explain just how incredible the skill they are about to witness is. In a quick explanation, it becomes clear that common needles are small, and only the greatest masters can use the longer ones. Finishing his thought, he states that the 8-inch needle belongs to a lost set, and that the young man's skill cannot be underestimated. Finishing his analysis, our MC realizes the girl was hit by a sinister poison, and that if they had waited any longer, she would have been a goner. Without wasting a second, he inserts the first needle into the young woman's chest with a terrifying calm. With surgical precision, the kid continues to apply the treatment delicately. Still doubting everything, Dr. Shi complains that this whole thing is just hocus pocus, and he can't see any power in it. Rebutting his colleague's ignorance, the Chinese specialist says there are special words to describe the technique the kid is using. And then, manifesting an absurd power, a giant soul appears behind our boy as he uses the Shanguan soul needle technique. Finishing the initial treatment, our MC turns to the girl's father, telling him he has stabilized her condition for now. Explaining the real situation, he reveals that the girl wasn't sick, but poisoned, and that the symptoms just look like epilepsy. Horrified by the revelation, Yang Ding realizes that today is the 8th day and his daughter is on the brink. Detailing the rest of the procedure, the kid warns that the future treatment will bring some inconveniences for the young woman. But without caring about the details, her father says he'll do anything, as long as they can save her. Agreeing with his determination, our boy prepares for the next phase of the treatment on the unconscious girl. Seeing this, the old doctor gets excited, because he knows the first 3 needles were just the beginning and the last one is the final touch. However, before applying the last needle, our MC looks at the girl and apologizes for what he's about to do. Complaining in his head, he notes that the young lady's assets are making it a bit difficult to apply the needle. Gathering all his strength, our boy then lets out a powerful yell, concentrating his energy. And instead of applying the needle by hand, he just lands a punch right on the girl's chest. Completely outraged by his actions, the 2 men beside him accuse him of being a creep. Even with her life on the line, our MC can't help but notice how soft the spot was, but he quickly gets back to business. Using the force of the impact, the needle is shot like a projectile, piercing the exact point. Understanding the genius of the move, Old Feng is ecstatic, realizing he used the contraction of her heart to guide the needle. With the needles perfectly positioned, the girl is now breathing calmly, still unconscious on the bed. Taking a deep breath and visibly tired, our MC wipes the sweat from his forehead, feeling a moment of relief. Turning to the girl's father, he tells him to get some clean clothes ready, as she's going to need them very soon. But suddenly, his danger senses start tingling, and he detects a threat coming from outside. With a wicked smile, a mysterious sniper prepares to send our nosy hero packing. Positioned in a tree, the enemy aims his rifle with a laser sight directly into the room. Then in the blink of an eye, the window glass shatters from a shot that cuts through the silence of the night. Stopping the bullet with just 2 fingers, our boy gets seriously ticked off by the sniper's audacity. Realizing he's been spotted, the assassin is shocked by the target's skill and decides to fall back immediately. But without giving the enemy a chance to escape, our MC simply jumps through the broken window at high speed. Seeing Dr. Liu flying through the air, the people down below panic, yelling for him to wait. In the meantime, the young woman on the bed finally opens her eyes and calls for her father, completely confused. Overwhelmed with emotion, the man can barely believe it, calling out his daughter's name now that she's finally awake. Rushing to hug her, the big boss of the house breaks down in tears while the doctor warns him to be careful with the needles. Meanwhile, under a heavy storm, the chase continues through the dark and rainy forest. Running at top speed through the woods, our MC yells that there's nowhere for the enemy to run. Tossing the bullet back with precision, he hits the sniper dead on before the guy can even react. With the impact, the henchman takes a nasty tumble to the ground, completely neutralized by the surprise counter-attack. Picking up the gun from the ground, our MC warns that messing with the Yang family is one thing, but attacking him directly is asking for trouble. Crying out in pain, the man on the ground feels the weight of our boy's boot on his back. Pointing the rifle's barrel right at the guy's eye, our MC demands to know his name and his mission, or else it's game over. Terrified, the man reveals that his mission was to eliminate the doctor and the girl to gain control of the Yang family. Figuring out the scheme behind it all, our boy asks who the mastermind behind this plan is. Claiming to be just a lone wolf, the henchman says he has the boss's contact, and just then his cell phone starts to vibrate. Seeing the perfect opportunity, our MC grabs the phone to see who's on the other end of the line. Answering the call, a mysterious voice immediately asks why it took so long to pick up. Masterfully disguising his voice, our MC makes up an excuse, saying the mission is tough and he's gonna need more money. Without suspecting a thing, the client offers triple the cash to eliminate all the doctors in 3 days, which makes our hero realize the sniper has been completely abandoned. Right after that, the boss hangs up the phone without giving him a chance to reply, making the mood even more tense. With a cold expression, our boy warns that he has no more use, while the henchman begs for his life. With a loud gunshot cutting through the rainy night, the problem in the forest is finally taken care of. Back at the mansion, one of the staff members announces that Dr. Liu has returned. Greeting the soaking wet kid, Yang Ding asks if he managed to catch the assassin. As a maid dries him off, our MC announces that the problem has been solved and asks them to send someone to take care of the body. Curious about the client, the girl's father asks if he managed to find out who was behind it all. Giving a sideways glance, our MC asks if he's sure he wants to discuss that subject right there in front of everyone. Getting the hint, Yang Ding invites him to his office, saying it's a long story. Now inside the luxurious mansion, the conversation becomes private and much more serious. Offering a seat to Dr. Liu, the host prepares to hear what he has to say. Still worried about his daughter, he mentions the needle in her body, but our MC reassures him not to worry. Explaining the needle's nature, the kid reveals that it's made of golden grass juice and should have been absorbed by now. With a relieved smile, the head of the family thanks him immensely, acknowledging the young man's incredible skills. Getting straight to the point, our boy asks them to talk about the problems the family is facing. Starting the story, Yangding reveals that his group bought a piece of land in the Arab region for a tourism project. Revealing the big surprise, he says they discovered huge oil reserves underground, turning the place into an energy source fought over by the whole world. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as the discovery of oil brought the attention of many powerful forces he couldn't touch before. Slamming the table in anger, the man yells that as a Chinese man, he would never sell his energy to foreigners, while our MC tells him to calm down. Because of his refusal, various forces began to target him, and to protect his daughter, he hired many bodyguards, but luckily our boy showed up. Offering to help with a smile, our MC asks if he needs a hand with everything, so he can finish his bodyguard job and leave sooner. But the rich man refuses, saying he can handle his own affairs, and that he invited him there specifically to protect Shaiwen. Revealing a dark secret, he says that a master predicted his daughter would have a short life and wouldn't make it past 20, and this very year, she turned that age. Calmly, our boy warns that if the man can't handle the pressure, he should just give a shout, because he has his own ways of dealing with foreigners. Leaving the office, our MC is greeted by the maids, who welcome him as the divine doctor, and he responds with a cheap pickup line. Following instructions, he asks one of the young women if that's the room next to Shai Wen's, where he's supposed to stay to protect her. Opening the door with a click, he gets ready to enter his new quarters. But as he steps inside, he senses a strange presence and stops for a moment, a bit confused. Inside, young Shaiwen is getting out of the shower, drying her hair and asking someone for help. Completely embarrassed, the two of them just stand there in an awkward silence, not knowing what to do. Breaking the ice in the worst way possible, our MC gives a thumbs up and compliments the girl's body, which makes her furious as she screams his name. And then, calling him a pervert, she throws the towel right in his face, starting a huge mess. Yelling that even though he cured her, he totally took advantage of her in public, the girl starts smacking our MC with the towel. Making it clear she's furious, the young woman complains that a towel smack wasn't nearly enough to let out all her frustration. Threatening to find someone to teach the kid a lesson, she storms out of the room, slamming the door and radiating a dark aura. Just the thought of having to protect that girl for 6 months already gives our MC a massive headache. Trying to explain himself, our boy tries to stop her by grabbing the towel, saying it wasn't on purpose. But in all the commotion, the towel covering her ends up slipping and falls to the floor, leaving both of them completely shocked and speechless at the unexpected scene that just unfolded. Breaking out in a cold sweat, our MC tries to justify himself one more time, asking if she believes that he didn't do it on purpose. Then a deafening scream echoes throughout the entire mansion, completely shattering the silence of the night. 15 minutes later, the dust seems to have settled a bit, but the tension is still thick in the air, and now fully dressed, the girl barges into our MC's room, armed with a pillow and calling him a pervert. As for the guy, now shirtless on his bed, he tries once more to explain it was an accident and warns her what'll happen if she keeps it up. Completely ignoring the warning, the girl screams for him to do whatever he wants and chucks the pillow right at the kid's head. Snatching the object out of the air, our boy just looks at the pillow, a little confused by the whole situation. And out of nowhere, the pillow just explodes in a shower of feathers, leaving the two of them standing in the middle of the mess. With a furious look, the girl warns that if he dares to mess with her again, she'll tell her dad everything and have him thrown out. Making a shush gesture, our MC cuts her off, showing her a small black object in the palm of his hand. Totally confused by his action, the young woman looks at the cell phone he's showing her, not understanding what's going on. Typing quickly, our boy explains that he found a bug, and that a beautiful life like hers is on the line, telling her to keep yelling so they don't get suspicious. As it dawns on her, the girl realizes she was being monitored, and that yesterday's attack and his presence as a bodyguard are all connected. Showing the phone screen one more time, our MC assures her that she'll be fine for the next 6 months under his protection. In a quick move, the girl then snatches the phone from his hand to stop the conversation, and with an irritated huff, she tosses the device aside, still trying to keep up her angry act. With her arms crossed, the spoiled rich girl says that since he's her bodyguard, she's going to lay down some rules. With zero patience for this, our boy just rolls his eyes, wondering what the heck she wants now. Dictating her terms, the young woman says he can't enter her room without permission and must obey all her orders, including beating up whoever she tells him to. Tired of this nonsense, our MC simply tells her to stop the drama and go to sleep. Stomping her foot on the ground, the girl yells that she's not done talking, and that she doesn't care if he sleeps or not. Trying to end the argument, the guy offers $100 as compensation for the towel, asking her to take it out of his salary. And with a bright, charming smile, he simply wishes her a good night, leaving the girl speechless. Slamming the door hard, the girl leaves the room completely rattled by the situation. With a face dark with anger, she mutters about the compensation, wondering what kind of person he thinks she is. Walking down the hall, our MC just sighs, thinking that this spoiled brat's temper really needs to be cured. Holding the bug, he figures that if an assassin planted it, the guy must already know that Yang Shiwen has been cured. Crushing the device with his fingers, he destroys the bug, cutting off the enemy's communication. In another district, the spy feels the jolt in his earpiece, realizing right away that the bug has been found and that he needs to tell the boss. Meanwhile, lying in bed, the young woman is already plotting her revenge, looking for help on her phone to deal with the cocky guy. Swearing to herself, she promises that Lu Feng is going to get what's coming to him tomorrow. The next morning, the sun rises and a new day begins at the huge Yang family mansion. During breakfast, her dad praises our boy's master, but our MC brags that he used to be number 3 in the world. Coming down the stairs all dressed up, the girl calls the guy a big mouth and tells him to take her to school immediately. Scolding his daughter, Yang Ding tells her not to be so rude to Xia Feng. Explaining the situation, the rich man says he's spoiled her too much, but our hero assures him he can handle one little girl. Tossing him the car keys and an admission notice, the spoiled rich girl tells our MC to get the car. Seeing the university paper, our boy gives a slight smirk, thinking how easy it is for a rich dude to get into a second-rate college. Leaving the mansion, our MC drives the red sports car at high speed down the road. Inside the car, the spoiled rich girl grumbles with her arms crossed, vowing she'll get revenge for him taking advantage of her. But suddenly on the road, 2 other sports cars appear out of nowhere and block their path. Pulling up in front, a girl and a big dude question who the arrogant bodyguard is who didn't even get out of the car to greet them. And with a little smile, Xiaowen's friend even lays a cheap pickup line on the guy, telling him to get out and show her what he's got. Without even flinching, our MC fires right back, saying he's 5'11" and inviting her to come find out about the rest for herself. Completely red with embarrassment and anger, the girl cusses our hero out for his bold reply. Responding to the big guy, our boy simply says he's Miss Yang's bodyguard and doesn't care if he's arrogant or not. Gritting his teeth, the pink-haired guy reveals that the only reason he didn't throw down is because he heard our MC took out 2 of the family's guards with a single move. Sticking her head out, Shiwen adds more fuel to the fire, asking her friends to teach the cocky bodyguard a lesson. Then, walking up to the window, the guy challenges our hero to a race, where the loser has to obey the winner. Scoffing at the challenge, our boy asks if her friend has a problem, while the spoiled girl just turns her head away. Seeing that the young woman wants to test him, he accepts the race, but warns her not to cry later, and the girl just sticks her tongue out at him. Setting the race route to the university, the 3 cars line up on the road, ready to floor it, and as they start, the engines roar and the vehicles shoot down the track at top speed. Taunting him through the rearview mirror, one of the racers already gives a thumbs down, underestimating our MC. Bragging about her friend's skill, the spoiled girl warns that he's a driving god and that with the 2 of them blocking him, our boy will never win. With just a slight smirk, our MC replies that she's too young and naive to understand. Flooring the accelerator without a second thought, he rams the car right at his opponents. And pulling off a completely insane maneuver, he pops the car up on 2 wheels, zipping between the 2 vehicles like a bullet. Leaving her 2 friends with their jaws on the floor, unable to believe the craziness they just witnessed. Meanwhile in the passenger seat, young Yang is screaming in terror, telling him to put the car back down immediately. Seeing the traffic light turn yellow, she panics and yells for him to stop the car before it's too late. But keeping his cool, our hero calculates that he still has 2 seconds and pulls a perfect drift through the intersection, declaring that it's time to win. Leaving the people in the other cars shocked by the risky maneuver, unsure if the driver was a genius or a complete lunatic. And just like that, they arrive calmly at their final destination, the famous Donghai University of Science and Technology. Already waiting outside, our boy points to her friends arriving, while Shiwen is still recovering from motion sickness. Completely defeated, the big dude walks up and accepts his loss, asking if our MC still remembers the bet. Staring down the loser with a serious look, our hero gets ready to collect on what was promised with his victory. And now with the tables turned, the spoiled girl just watches, unable to do anything while our boy gives the orders. Completely speechless, the 2 friends just stare, not knowing what to say after the humiliating defeat. Consoling the losers, our MC says there's no shame in losing to him and suggests that if they call him Big Bro, the bet's off. But the spoiled girl plays dumb, saying the bet was made by her friends and has nothing to do with her. Leaving everyone floored, the girl simply turns her back on the mess she started. Praising the young woman's cleverness, our boy says she's a huge loss to her friends, and she can only tell him to get lost. Right at that moment, a fancy white car screeches to a halt right in front of them, grabbing everyone's attention. Getting out of the vehicle, a tough-looking brute in sunglasses asks who told them they could park in his spot. Quickly, the other students recognize the guy as Brother Feng, the only one allowed to park in the university's main square. Without being the least bit intimidated, our hero says he wants to park there and asks if the college happens to belong to the punk's family. Creating a tense mood in the air, the two of them stare each other down in silence, while the crowd around them is shocked by his audacity. Lowering his sunglasses with a threatening look, the big guy asks if our boy is itching for a fight. But right after, the brute notices Shaiwen and makes a really gross comment about her looks and her body. Feeling deeply disgusted, the spoiled girl covers herself up, completely uncomfortable with the guy's creepy comment. Realizing they're freshmen, the musclehead introduces himself as Sun Chengfeng, trying to act like he owns the place. Cutting the small talk short, our boy warns him that he's not the least bit interested in who he is and that the parking spot is going to be his. Blocking the brute with his body, our MC tells the guy to get lost and mind his own eyes, instead of staring at what's not his. Seeing the guy's protective attitude, the spoiled girl gives a slight smile, finding the scene unexpectedly cute. Not believing the freshman's nerve, the college crowd already pre-gicks he's about to get a serious beatdown from Brother Feng. Completely enraged by the disrespect, the so-called Brother Feng yells that our boy is an ungrateful animal and is just asking for it. Lunging forward with a straight punch, the musclehead doesn't even see it when our MC dodges with agility and stomps hard on his foot. Screaming in pain from the well-aimed stomp, the big guy completely loses his balance mid-attack. Seizing the opening without wasting a second, our hero delivers a high kick with absurd flexibility. With the immense force of the impact, the bully is sent flying through the air like a feather, soaring far away. Jaws dropped at the unbelievable scene. The students can hardly believe the strength of this unknown freshman. Landing hard on top of his own luxury car, the punk is left completely dazed and with smoke coming out of his mouth. Hopping onto the car's hood, our MC declares that from now on, there's only one Brother Feng at this college, and the crowd starts taking pictures. Doing a stylish backflip, the kid lands smoothly on the ground, right next to Shaiwen. Calling the girl to come along, he says it's time to register for school, and she meekly agrees. Watching the scene from afar, the friends comment that they've never seen Miss Yang so well-behaved, looking like she's been tamed by Lu Feng. Honoring the race bet, the pink-haired racer declares with conviction that from now on, our boy is his new boss. Accepting the new hierarchy, the pink-haired racer asks the boss to show him his driving skills, while Shaiwen lets out a little laugh. Immediately their friend bursts out laughing at the scene, leaving our MC's new subordinate totally embarrassed. Getting up all bruised, the brute swears he'll get revenge on whoever dared to hit him. But before he could do anything, the pink-haired racer flies in with a kick right to the punk's face. Climbing on the car, he continues to beat up the musclehead, while the crowd comments that the guy is the eldest son of the powerful Sun family. Totally wrecked and with a swollen face, the bully looks so pathetic that one of the onlookers even doubts the story is true. And feeling much more comfortable, the new subordinate adjusts his tie, looking like an angel after his good deed. Half an hour later, with the dust settled, life on the university campus returns to normal. Walking through the courtyard, our MC is now carrying the spoiled girl's shopping bags, who is walking arm in arm with him. Finding his new boss, Ton Lei invites him for a drink, since he's heading to the capital the next day. With a slight smile, our boy accepts immediately, saying he rarely turns down a treat. And so, the three of them head to the luxurious Dongqing International Hotel, a place that's anything but cheap. Greeted by a battalion of receptionists, the group decides to go straight to the exclusive room, of course. With an air of superiority, the pink-haired guy leads the way, showing that he knows the place well and has his privileges. Bragging to his boss, he reveals that his exclusive room on the third floor costs 300,000 a year and asks if that's good enough. Walking down the hotel's luxurious hallway, our MC finds the 300,000 a year amusing, and his subordinate asks if the boss found it too expensive. Explaining his point of view, our hero says that 300,000 wouldn't even cover a bottle of wine, but that only a fool would spend that on a yearly rental. Getting all flustered, the pink-haired guy tries to defend himself, but our boy cuts him off, saying everyone has their own opinion, and it's better if they just go drink. Super excited by the idea, Ton Lei already boasts, thinking he won't be the one getting wasted and feeling sick later. Accepting the challenge with a wicked smile, our MC plays along and promises that if he doesn't drink the guy under the table, he'll call him boss instead. Finally arriving at the exclusive dining room, the two are greeted by female staff who invite them in. Already choosing the dishes, the pink-haired guy orders some super expensive delicacies, leaving Shaiwen's friend completely impressed by his generosity. But not satisfied, the big spender calls the waitress over again, ready to order even more. Seeing the extravagance, the pink-haired rich girl questions why he would order such an expensive shark fin soup for just 4 people. Replying with a charming air, Tong Lei says that her family is the richest in the region, and it would be an offense to offer a cheap meal. Even the employee comments that it's a waste to order such a feast for so few people, but the rich guy confirms the order with confidence. Just watching the scene from the side, our hero gives a discreet smile, already imagining what's about to happen. Turning to his new boss, the guy asks which drink they should choose to go with the feast. Playing the song Lear, our MC advises that beer doesn't go with seafood and asks for some Mu Tai, a very strong and expensive liquor. And to kick off the night, he orders 2 bottles right away, leaving the party's host with an excited smile on his face. Scoffing at the order, our MC says 2 bottles aren't enough and suggests a whole case instead. Turning completely pale at the suggestion, our hero's 2 friends freeze on the spot, not believing the craziness. Putting pressure on the rich guy, our boy even reminds him that he got into the military university, and that soldiers can't chicken out. Not wanting to back down, the pink-haired guy swallows his fear and yells for the waiter to bring a whole case at once. Raising his glass for a toast, Tong Lei praises his new boss's cunning and craziness, despite barely knowing him. Just observing the scene, their friend warns that the guy can barely handle a glass and a half and tells him to take it easy. Down a whole glass in one go, our MC drinks it all without even blinking, while Shaiwen just watches the competition out of the corner of her eye. Already breaking a sweat after the first sip, the host rushes the waiter, trying to hide the fact that he's already starting to feel sick. Adding more fuel to the fire, our hero already serves his little brother for another round without even giving him time to breathe. Swallowing with difficulty, the 2 of them down another glass, but the playboy is already starting to make a pained face. Without giving him a second of rest, our boy keeps pouring for the rich guy, whose eyes are already rolling back from being so dizzy. Impressed by his stamina, Shaiwen's friend comments that her bodyguard can really hold his liquor. With his opponent already passed out under the table, our MC stands up victorious, still ready for more. Completely out cold on the floor, the playboy is passed out drunk, with the bottle and glass fallen beside him. Looking at the damage done, the spoiled girl glares at our boy with a dirty look, calling him cruel. Devouring the feast like there's no tomorrow, our MC explains that if he hadn't taken the guy out, he wouldn't have been able to eat all of this by himself. Joking about the situation, Shaiwen's friend questions if her family has enough money to afford a bodyguard who drinks so many bottles of expensive liquor. Playing along, the Harris of the Yang family offers to give the bodyguard to her friend as a gift, if she wants him. But refusing the offer with a smile, the orange-haired girl says she's not as rich as her friend to afford such a luxury. Suddenly, the room's door is kicked open with a bang, completely interrupting the girl's conversation. Full of hatred and seeking revenge, the college bully storms in with 2 more henchmen, ready for a fight. Without giving the guy time to get close, the empty liquor bottle flies across the room and hits the musclehead square in the nose. On his knees with his nose gushing, the punk now stares at the floor, feeling the weight of humiliation in front of everyone. Tossing the bottle cap in the air, our MC glares at him with contempt, not understanding how he can be so dumb. With a cold look, our hero warns that he won't fight there because of the ladies and tells them to get out before their boss loses any more blood. Realizing the mess they've gotten into, the bully's 2 helpers start to sweat, not knowing how to react. Quickly his partners pick him up and carry him out of there, obeying our boy's command without question. Turning to the spoiled girl with a thumbs up, our MC tells her not to be scared because everything is fine now. Pouting in irritation, Young Yang immediately denies it, saying she's not scared of anything. Seeing that the situation is resolved, our boy says the place has become a mess, and it's time for them to leave. Carrying his completely wasted subordinate over his shoulder, our MC hears him mumbling about dreaming of a fight. With just a calm smile, our boy tells him to just keep dreaming. Now in the car, the spoiled girl watches our MC through the rearview mirror, thinking that he's actually kind of handsome and has a good sense of humor. Noticing the girl's stare in the mirror, the guy looks back at her with an amused expression. And with a teasing smile, he accuses her of checking him out. Completely flustered and blushing, Young Yang immediately denies it, saying she wasn't looking at anything. Just then, getting a call, our MC quickly answers it while driving. Asking their friend for a favor, our boy asks her to take Shoen and the passed out guy back first. Soon after, the two of them get out of the car and stand on the street under the city lights, ready to talk. Sticking her head out the window, the spoiled girl asks why he's leaving and abandoning her. Calmly, the guy says he'll be right back, as he just needs to take care of a few things first. Meanwhile, somewhere else, revenge for the humiliation at college was already being planned. Being tended to by several nurses, the humiliated bully tells an older man what happened. Crying out for revenge, he asks his Uncle Yan to help him teach the freshman named Lu Feng a lesson. With a look full of hatred, the man guarantees that this Lu Feng won't be alive for more than 3 days. Vowing revenge, the beat-up bully reveals that his uncle is a master and is going to teach our boy a lesson. Far away, our MC receives a message about a triple payment of $1.5 billion to eliminate the bodyguard who cured Shaiwan. And with the target identified, the hired assassin wonders if the mission to make Lu Feng take care of himself will be too complicated. Returning to the spoiled girl, our hero finds her with her arms crossed, and she asks him where he disappeared to. Questioning the bodyguard's actions, the young woman says that leaving her all alone is a serious neglect of his duty. But right after, with a little smile, she says she forgives him, leaving our MC relieved and sarcastically thanking her. Still not understanding her mood swing, the girl insists on her question, but the guy just says his mood isn't complicated. Taking out the phone he found, he connects a device and starts running a decryption program. Recognizing the software instantly, the girl is shocked to see it's a special program from the Secret Service, revealing the sender's identity. Now knowing the danger, she gets ahead of him and asks if they're going after this Q-Team guy to find out why he's targeting them. Arriving in a hotel hallway, they stop in front of room 608, and our hero asks what's wrong. With a confident smile, the guy replies that there's nothing wrong, already preparing to break in. Once inside the room, Shaiwan asks why they're waiting, but our boy points out that there's a live stream happening inside. Explaining the situation, he warns that the hallway has surveillance, and that going in that way would only leave evidence against them. Giving a mysterious look, our MC just smiles, already having a perfect plan in mind to solve the situation. Revealing his plan, our MC explains that they can use the hotel's ventilation ducts to get into the room without being seen. Peeking through the ventilation grate, our hero watches the scene unfolding inside, waiting for the right moment to act. On the bed in the room, the so-called Kitian is in the middle of a live stream with a girl dressed as a schoolgirl, acting out a racy scene. Oblivious to the danger, the actress in the stream ends up saying too much and reveals the guy's plan to take down the richest man in the region, making her partner angry. On the other side of the duct, Shaiwan tries to stop our MC from looking, but it's too late to avoid the scene. Completely embarrassed and flustered, our boy just looks away, trying to ignore what he just saw. And then, jumping into the room, he surprises the couple in the middle of their recording, interrupting everything. Seeing the sudden invasion, the spoiled rich girl jumps down right after, landing gracefully behind her bodyguard. Scooping the girl up to protect her, our MC faces the mission's target, who gets furious at his audacity. Not recognizing the intruders, the man on the bed yells, asking who the heck they are. Without giving him time to talk, our hero flies in with a direct kick, hitting the enemy dead on and sending him flying. Seeing her partner get attacked, the girl from the stream screams his name, completely in shock. And filled with rage, the actress grabs a knife and lunges at our MC, yelling that he dared to hurt her brother Tian. With a calm expression, young Yang just watches the scene, fully trusting in her protector's abilities. Quickly, our boy grabs the girl's wrist, disarming the attack with ease and without breaking a sweat. Holding the girl calmly, our MC says you don't need a knife for something so trivial. Right after, he turns to the brute and starts the interrogation, asking if he was the one who hired the assassin to attack the Yang family. Recognizing the name instantly, the man finally understands he's dealing with the famous Lu Feng. But trying to act tough, the musclehead reveals he's from the powerful Sun family and warns our boy that he can't mess with them. Not even fazed, our MC asks if the idea was his alone or if the whole family is in on it. Claiming to be the master of the war hall, the man says the idea was his alone, and our boy hopes that's true. Pressing even harder, the kid demands to know who's behind the whole plan. Revealing the truth, the brute says it's a foreign company, the Gasa Corporation, that pays the money while he finds the people. Hearing the name, Shaiwan is surprised, saying Gasa is a very powerful import-export group in Korea. Surprised by the information, our MC turns to the girl, wanting to know more details about this company. Explaining her knowledge, the young woman says that as Yang Ding's daughter, she's interested in business, and that GS Corp is one of the top 5 companies in Southeast Asia. Then turning his focus back to the interrogation, our boy demands the name and location of the person who gave him the money. Confessing what he knows, the man reveals that the contact's name is Fei Daojia, the corporation's general manager, but he's only met him once. Questioning the War Hall's involvement, our MC hears that no one else participated, as he didn't dare to use their power. Finally, our MC asks about the leader of the Dark Hall, and the man reveals his name and shows a photo on his phone. Memorizing the information from the phone, our MC gets a serious and determined look. Seeing that the interrogation is over, the brute asks to leave, since he told them everything he knew. But with a dark smile, our boy asks if he really thinks that's possible, and in the blink of an eye, our MC knocks them both out, leaving Shaiwen terrified by the scene. Explaining the situation, he says he would never do that in front of a lady, and that he just erased their memories. Completely shocked by the revelation, the girl questions if that's even possible. Picking the young woman up, our hero tells her to climb up and wait safely. Already inside the ventilation duct, the spoiled girl asks if that's all she needs to do. Warning that there's still one more thing, our MC prepares for the next step. And then with a powerful kick, he sends a stool flying against the bedroom wall. Making the closet door fly into pieces, a new enemy with white hair and a mask suddenly appears. Unfazed, our boy even teases him, asking how long the guy was hiding in there. Telling him to shut up, the enemy pulls out a golden revolver and points it directly at our hero. Seeing the scene from above, Shaiwen screams in desperation, warning Lu Feng to be careful. But in a move faster than the gunshot, our MC already disarms the attack, grabbing both the gun and a knife the guy had hidden. Mocking the guy's slowness, our MC warns that his hands are way too slow. Completely shocked, the white-haired enemy can barely believe the kid's speed. Analyzing the golden gun, our boy figures out all its details, even realizing the guy is from GS. And already giving new orders, our MC tells the henchman to get some men to make sure QTN cooperates without any funny business. Putting pressure on the guy with an arm twist, he makes it clear that he's the one asking the questions now if the other guy wants to live. Meanwhile in the next room, the spoiled girl is already up to speed on everything they've discovered. Completely shocked by the enemy's ambition, she can hardly believe that the spy in her family was Aunt May. Explaining that human hearts are treacherous, our MC says he needs to discuss the situation with her father too. Gently stroking the girl's head, he says her father doesn't want her to know everything and asks her to play dumb. Not knowing how to respond about the betrayal, our boy just closes his eyes, not having an answer. Still worried about the future, the young woman asks if those people will ever leave them alone. Lying down on the bed in a relaxed way, our hero guarantees he'll take care of everything, and the spoiled girl finally agrees to go back. The very next day, at the city university, the routine seems to be back to normal. Walking arm in arm with the spoiled rich girl, who is now wearing a white dress, our MC arrives on campus in style. Seeing the new supercar and the good-looking couple, the other students already recognize the guy as the one who beat up Sun Chengfeng. Walking across campus, the girl complains about being the center of attention, but our MC compliments her, saying she's already beautiful no matter what. But suddenly, a basketball comes flying towards them at high speed. Getting a huge scare, the spoiled girl screams, closing her eyes for the impact. Acting fast, our boy sticks out his arm and stops the ball with one hand, protecting the girl. Spinning the ball on his finger calmly, our MC calms her down, while she sighs in relief with her heart pounding. Just then, two basketball players walk up with unfriendly faces, telling the kid to bring them the ball. Just staring at the brutes with a serious look, our MC doesn't move an inch. Completely ignoring the request, our boy simply tosses the ball to the side, away from them. Completely ticked off by the disrespect, the main player yells, asking where the heck he's throwing the ball. Pointing at Shaiwen, our hero says that before anything else, he'd better apologize to the beautiful lady. Mocking the situation, the player says our boy is crazy and that he should be apologizing to his ball for getting it dirty on the grass. With his jaw clenched, our MC's gaze turns icy, showing that his patience has run out. Deciding to ignore the idiot, our hero calls for Shaiwen to leave, but the player steps in front of them, saying he's not going anywhere. Cracking his knuckles with a threatening smile, the brute makes it clear he wants to settle things with his fists. Accepting the challenge without hesitation, our boy just tells him to wait, while the bully's friends start laughing at the situation. Calling our MC a coward, the player gets all cocky, thinking the kid chickened out. But stepping on the ball calmly, our boy faces the players, who are shocked by his attitude, and with an absurdly fast spinning kick, he hits the brute square in the jaw. Hitting the ground from the impact, the bully is left dazed while his friends yell at him. Placing his foot on the basketball, our hero prepares for his next move. Feeling that the situation is resolved, our boy gets ready to head to class. and together with the spoiled girl, he heads to the main building, leaving the chaos behind. Already inside the classroom, our MC tries to pay attention to the lecture, but something seems to be bothering him. Suddenly a new girl, with stunning beauty, catches everyone's attention. Whispering in his ear, the girl hands him a note, saying it was from the classmates behind them. Reading the paper, our hero sees an invitation to go for drinks later, with a cute little beer drawn on it. Turning around to talk to the new classmate, he completely ignores Shaiwen's jealous glare. Curious about her approach, our boy asks for her name, and the girl introduces herself as Peng Jiaki. Introducing himself with his usual charm, the kid says his name is Lu Feng, but she can call him Brother Romance. Letting out a small giggle, the girl seems to find his pickup line quite amusing. With a fiery aura coming off her, the spoiled girl grumbles about Lu Feng being a player who only knows how to flirt with girls. As they leave class, she tells him to change his habit of hitting on everyone, but our MC just says that college life is too good. Curious, the young woman asks if his life wasn't easy before, wanting to know what he did. Revealing a bit of his past, the guy says he's been in the army since he was a kid, but stops mid-sentence. Impressed by his skill, the girl deduces that he must have been a special forces soldier, and he thanks her for the compliment. And with a serious look, he reveals that he was part of the Heavenly Sword, an elite unit that punishes all of the country's enemies. Leaving the girl with her jaw on the floor, the revelation leaves her completely speechless. But right after, with a jealous look, she asks if he thought that Peng Jiaki girl was pretty. Caught off guard by the question, our boy is left speechless, crushed by an imaginary sledgehammer. Far away, the humiliated bully from college calls his uncle, saying that Lu Feng is about to leave. Receiving the news that his other henchman lost his memory, the bully panics because now his uncle can't come help him. Deciding to act on his own, he sends someone to keep an eye on our hero, watching him from a distance on campus. Getting near the car, Shaiwen, still jealous, grabs his arm and demands to know who's prettier, her or the other girl. Back at the mansion, our MC asks if the young woman is ready for their evening plans. And appearing all dolled up, in a tight dress with tattoos, she reveals she got ready for their date to go drinking, and asks if she's prettier than her rival. Complimenting the girl's look, our MC says that Miss Yang is the prettiest of all, leaving her all flustered. Satisfied with the answer, the spoiled girl pulls him by the arm and says they're going to the Love Me bar. And so, the two arrive at a chick bar, overlooking the entire city lit up at night. Already at the counter, the bartender recognizes our hero as the famous Sword of the Dragon's Abyss, the top assassin in his unit. Surprised by the revelation, Young Yang takes a sip of wine and asks, a little scared, if he's ever taken someone's life. Taking a sip of his drink, our MC calmly replies yes, more times than he can count. Leaving the spoiled girl completely shocked by the confession, not knowing how to react. With a slightly scary look, our boy asks if she's afraid of him. Confessing she's a little scared, the young woman says she knows her family is in a crisis and that she might need someone like him. Offering more to drink, our hero says she can drink as much as she wants tonight, because everything is fine. But with a suspicious look, the girl asks what his intention is in getting her drunk. Revealing his plan, our MC says he's just waiting for her to pass out so he can take her and handle some unfinished business. Discreetly, he warns her not to look back, because there are at least 4 pairs of eyes watching them in the bar. And as they leave the place, the spies immediately get the order to follow them. Now on the road, around 11 at night, a high-speed chase begins through the city streets. Telling the girl to get some sleep, our MC tells her not to mind any noise she hears. Grabbing the golden revolver he got earlier, our boy comments that yesterday's loot is already being put to use today. And with a slight smirk, he sticks the gun out the window and fires twice without hesitation. Hitting the tire of one of the pursuing cars dead on, the bullet blows out the rubber instantly. Completely desperate with the flat tire, the 2 henchmen inside the car panic. With that, the driver loses control and the vehicle flips over on the road, ending its part in the chase disastrously. Reassuring the spoiled girl, our hero tells her not to worry, because they can't follow them anymore. But as they turn the corner, they come face to face with a giant truck blocking the way. Jumping out from all sides, several henchmen surround the car, revealing it was all an ambush. Getting out of the vehicle, our MC tells the girl to stay inside and lock the doors securely. Leading the gang, Uncle Yan appears, praising not only our boy's fighting skills but also his marksmanship. Unfazed by the compliment, our boy says he doesn't need flattery and asks where the old man came from. Challenging the kid, the gang leader says he needs to defeat his subordinates first to be worthy of knowing his name. Rushing in with everything they've got, 2 of the brutes fly towards our MC, yelling for him to die. And in the blink of an eye, a sequence of rapid blows echoes through the dark street, kicking up a cloud of dust. With all the henchmen defeated on the ground, our MC acknowledges they were well trained, but nothing compared to him. Introducing himself as the master of the Sun family's hunting hall, the old man says our boy will have to pay for hurting their honor. And with a battle cry, he advances with the Wind Wolf Fist technique, unleashing a powerful aura. Deciding to mess with the old geezer a bit, our hero prepares for combat with a smile on his face. Exchanging blows at high speed, our boy blocks the attack with his leg, showing his superiority. And right after, he lands a straight punch to the enemy's face, even breaking the guy's teeth. Feeling the power of the attack, the Hall Master unleashes an energy aura, preparing to fight with everything he's got. But without giving the enemy time to recover, our MC already appears behind him, warning that playtime is over. And with a devastating final blow, he slams the old man's head into the asphalt, creating a crater in the ground. Completely defeated and all beat up, the Hall Master apologizes to his young master for losing. Giving a final warning, our hero tells him to tell the head of the family that if they mess with him again, the entire Sun family will be wiped from the city. Before leaving, our MC even calls out two guys who were hiding, inviting them for a sparring session. Seeing that things have gone south, the college bullies run off terrified, without looking back. Now inside the car, our boy asks if the spoiled girl was scared, but she says he looked like a hero. Thanking him from the heart, the girl drives away, while our MC still teases her, asking if she's going to devote herself to him. The very next day, the military training for the new university students starts early. In formation in the courtyard, the students receive orders from the instructor, all dressed in camouflage uniforms. With a distracted look, our MC compares Pangjiaki's beauty to Shaiwen's but focuses on other assets. Whispering not to worry, the girl warns that the training is really tough, but our hero says this is child's play. Seeing the two of them chatting, the instructor gets annoyed and threatens to give them a failing grade. But with pure sass, our boy asks how the verb, get out, is supposed to be executed, asking for a demonstration. Unable to hold back their laughter, the other students burst out laughing at their classmates' audacity. Completely furious, the instructor tells Li Feng to get out of formation, and our MC questions how he knows his name. Denying any setup, the man says that normal soldiers would have no reason to target him. From a distance, the college bullies watch the scene, cursing out the instructor for being an idiot and not dealing with the freshmen. Trying to hide his embarrassment, another officer says it was all a misunderstanding and tells the students to get back to training. But a soldier steps forward and challenges our hero to a competition of running, push-ups, and an obstacle course. Seeing the injustice, the classmates comment that it's shameful for a trained soldier to compete with a freshman. Accepting the challenge, our MC sets his condition, saying that if he wins, he wants a top grade and to be excused from training. And on top of that, he demands that Shaiwen and Peng Jiaki also get the same treatment, making the spoiled girl jealous and call him a womanizer. Thinking the demand is too much, one of the officers says that adding another person to the bet is a bit unreasonable. But our MC unfazed offers to take on both of them, asking if that's good enough now. With a challenging smile, the other instructor agrees to compete too, making the challenge even harder. Seeing the cowardice, the other students start to complain, saying the two instructors have no moral integrity. Agreeing to the fight, our boy says it's no problem, but that he's not done setting his conditions yet. Realizing our hero came prepared, the main instructor asks what else he wants, and our MC follows him. With a wicked smile, the man proposes that if the freshman loses, he has to forget the credits and drop out of college, leaving the two girls completely shocked by the high-stakes bet. But with a confident look, our boy turns the question around, wanting to know what happens if the instructors lose. Replying in kind, the officer says that if they lose, they'll agree to any condition our MC sets. Announcing to the whole class, our hero says that if he wins, the three of them will be excused with top grades, and the instructors will have to accept any condition. With shouts of support, the classmates say they heard everything and will be witnesses to the bet. Even the guys in the class yell, saying they support Brother Feng and will admire him even if he loses. Leaving the two instructors completely embarrassed and sweating under the pressure from the entire class. With a mysterious smile, our boy says he won't reveal his last request and that it will be a surprise for when he wins. Without any more delay, the two instructors yell that it's time to start the competition for real. Explaining the rules, one of the officers says it will be a 3-kilometer run with 15-kilogram backpacks, totaling 7.5 laps on the track. And with the starting signal, the three of them take off down the track, but our MC is already out in front at high speed. Seeing the incredible performance, the classmates' jaws drop, barely believing he's running so fast with so much weight. From a distance, the college bully scoffs, saying it's easy to run fast at the beginning, but that he'll pass out from exhaustion soon enough. On the first lap, the chubbier instructor's in the lead, with our boy right behind him. But on the second lap, our hero shoots ahead, leaving the soldier in the dust with ease. Messing with him, our MC, dressed as a bunny, waves goodbye to the turtle-like instructor, who gets furious at the taunt. Seeing the scene, the girls in the class go crazy, screaming his name and declaring their love. Annoyed by the mockery, the soldier tries to speed up, promising he'll fight him. But the other instructor warns him not to lose his pace, or his stamina will run out quickly. 4 minutes later, the race is pretty much decided. Celebrating his victory, our boy raises his arm, while the instructor collapses from exhaustion on the ground. Immediately, all the classmates shout in support, calling Brother Feng the pride of the department. Poking the man on the ground, our MC tells him to get up, reminding him that he still has 2 more laps to go. Seeing his colleague wiped out, the other instructor offers to compete first, giving our MC 10 minutes of rest if he wanted. But refusing the offer, our boy says he doesn't need to rest and suggests they start with 300 push-ups. And to make it even harder, he suggests doing 150 push-ups with one hand for each arm. Accepting the challenge, the instructor sets the rule that the arm must form a 90-degree angle for each push-up, and with the starting signal, the two of them get into position on the ground and start the exercise at high speed. Meanwhile, the girls watch and count the reps, impressed by the competitors' stamina. At the end of the count, our hero finishes the 150 with his left hand, while the instructor collapses on the ground. With a taunting look, our boy reminds him that he's not done yet and that he still has 7 reps to go. Seeing the scene, the classmates make fun of him, asking if the tired instructor wants to rest, and they soon announce Lu Feng's victory. Stopping the challenge, our MC says there's no need to continue, as he takes no pleasure in beating someone so weak. Admitting defeat, the soldier reminds him that there are still 2 more competitions to go. Bragging about his speed, the instructor proposes a 100-meter dash, saying that no one in his regiment is faster. Sweating nervously, the first instructor gives the starting signal, ready to see the result of the new contest. And with absurd speed, our boy shoots ahead, leaving the soldier eating his dust. Leaving the college bullies with their jaws on the floor at the freshman's superhuman speed. Celebrating the crushing victory, the students yell that Lu Feng is incredible. Seeing the result on the stopwatch, the college bully asks what time he got. Completely shocked, the blonde guy reveals he ran it in 8.88 seconds, breaking a record. Not believing what they heard, the other students question if it's possible for a human to reach such a speed. With her arms crossed, even Shaiwen admits that this rascal really has the potential to break the world record. Analyzing the results, the guy realizes our MC also broke the 3-kilometer record and smashes the stopwatch in anger. Not accepting defeat, the instructor proposes the third and final competition, sit-ups. With a charming smile, our hero asks for help from a female classmate to hold his feet during the exercise. Without hesitation, Peng Jiaki volunteers immediately, leaving the spoiled girl dying of jealousy. And so, the two of them get into position on the grass, ready to start the 500 sit-up challenge. Seeing that no one volunteered, the instructor yells for someone to come help hold his feet too. Watching from afar, the president of the Sanda Club acknowledges that the freshman's athletic ability is far superior to the instructor's. Determined to challenge him in the future, the blonde guy says he won't take advantage of his fatigue today, because he's earned his respect. With impressive speed, our boy finishes the 500 sit-ups with the instructor almost 100 reps behind. Thanking his classmates for their support, our MC also dedicates the victory to Peng Jiaki, who helped him with the exercise. With an aura of anger, the spoiled girl grumbles that the hateful rascal used the opportunity to flirt with the other girl. Admitting complete defeat, the two instructors say they don't need to continue and that our MC and the 2 girls will receive top grades. Accepting their surrender, our hero calls in the bet, demanding they tell everyone who hired them to target him. And one of the students, acting like a reporter, already starts spreading the gossip about the dark secret of the military training. With no other choice, one of the soldiers confesses that Sun Chenfeng paid them to make Lu Feng's life as difficult as possible. Completely outraged, the bully denies the accusation, yelling that no one saw him give them any money. Mocking the guy, our MC calls him powerful, and the musclehead stammers in fear, not knowing what to say. And with a loud slap, our boy sends the punk flying, his eyes popping out. Seeing the scene, the other students comment that this is the second time Lu Feng has beaten up the college bully. But Shaiwen corrects them, saying with a satisfied smile that it's actually the 3rd time. And explaining all the gossip, she tells her classmates about the first and second time the brute got beat up. Recognizing the story, one of the students remembers hearing that a guy in a Porsche with a beautiful woman had arrived on campus. Grabbing the guy on the ground by the collar, our MC warns that this is the third and final time, and that he'd better not mess with him again. With victory secured, our hero invites the two girls to rest, since they're now excused from training. Agreeing immediately, the spoiled girl says she'd love to have some tea, already all excited. With a smile, the new friend suggests they go to a tea house she knows outside the university. From a distance, a blonde student watches our MC leaving with the two prettiest girls and grumbles with envy. Planning his revenge, the guy says that when he becomes the class monitor, he'll make our hero look like a fool. Talking with his cronies, they guarantee they'll deal with Lu Feng, saying he's just a good fighter and they can beat him with brains. A week later, walking down the hall, our MC receives a message on his phone while Shaiwen reads her plans for the class. The message summons him to a hotel, revealing that the Sun family has agreed to let him take over the business in the future. Seeing the spoiled girl so focused, our hero wishes her success in her campaign, but also curses her to get diarrhea. Meanwhile, the head of the Sun family meets with the manager of the Gaza Corporation. Revealing the deal, the manager offers 50% of the Yang's property in exchange for their elimination. Advising his partner, the manager tells him to prepare a hidden place, as he has already invited a group of mercenaries to China. Scolding the plan, our MC, who is hiding, says that China is a forbidden place for mercenaries and calls the manager an idiot. Appearing suddenly, our boy faces a group of men, who ask who he is. Without bothering to introduce himself, our hero says that what matters is that he doesn't like them. Mocking the manager, our MC recognizes him and even makes fun of his name, saying he doesn't look fat. Completely ticked off by his audacity, the man orders his henchmen to break our boy's limbs to see who's fat. Lunging forward, two bodyguards in suits and sunglasses advance with their fists ready. But using needles as thin as wire, our MC quickly neutralizes the three henchmen surrounding him. Gritting his teeth, the manager says he hired an expert to deal with the young family's bodyguard. With a slight smirk, our boy reveals that coincidentally, he is that bodyguard and challenges the so-called expert to a fight. And then a fighter in a white kimono with dreadlocks appears, ready to face the opponent who came to his door. Taunting the enemy, our MC says he can't beat him, but that he'd have a chance if he didn't use his special move. Accepting the challenge, the fighter with dreadlocks says he'll give the cocky kid a chance. With a yell, the man advances with a powerful kick, but our boy blocks it with ease. Dodging the attack, our hero says the move is too slow and already gets into position for a counter-attack. Ducking quickly, our MC escapes a spinning kick and prepares a devastating blow. And with a direct kick to the chin, he sends his opponent flying, who spits out a large amount of liquid. Finishing the fight with a flying blow, our boy says he gave the enemy a chance, but he didn't take it. Facing the head of the Sun family, our MC questions him for working with a foreigner. Full of hatred, the man reveals that a dark energy was left in his brother and that he seeks revenge. Ignoring the manager's Korean nobility, our hero grabs him by the collar and demands to know who's behind the Gaza Corporation. Screaming in pain, the manager complains that our MC dislocated his shoulder. And with a spinning kick, our boy takes down the two henchmen and the manager at the same time. Lying on the floor, the head of the Sun family says our hero is merciless, but he retorts, reminding him they wanted to break his limbs. Trying to negotiate, the man says he can stop attacking the Yang family, but that the Sun family has lost a lot. Leaving the enemies on the floor, our MC warns that Gaza won't treat them as partners and swears he'll rip the manager out by the roots one day. Receiving a call from Shaiwen, our boy hears her ask where he's been, since he said he had diarrhea. In front of a hotel, a huge heart made of roses decorates the entrance, where several students are gathered. With a booklet in his hand, the new class monitor, Lu Hao, thanks everyone and takes the opportunity to confess his feelings to his classmate Peng Jiaki. Watching the scene, the other students comment that it's all just showing off and that the girl is obviously interested in Lu Feng. Not knowing what to do, the young woman is completely flustered by the unexpected declaration. Kneeling on the ground, the monitor confesses, saying he's liked her since the first time he saw her. But suddenly, a red car flies by and destroys the entire heart of roses, leaving the blonde guy in shock, completely clueless as to what just happened. Getting out of the car, our MC complains about the brainless person who put so many roses in front of the hotel. Recognizing our hero, the monitor and the girl stare at him, and the playboy calls him brainless, full of anger. Finding our MC, the girl asks why he took so long, but he apologizes and says he'll make it up to her. From a distance, the blonde playboy gets annoyed seeing the two of them together, while the other girls make fun of him. Seeing a luxury car arriving, the guy recognizes the vehicle and gets even more annoyed. From inside the car, two playboys promise to deal with Lu Feng for ruining their plans. Now inside the restaurant, Xiaowen tries to sit next to our hero, but another girl has already taken the spot. Shrugging, our MC says there's another empty seat, and that he doesn't care where she sits. Introducing his rich friends, the class monitor tries to impress everyone with his connections. With a disdainful look, the spoiled girl comments that the two are just second-rate celebrities. Seeing our hero approaching, Peng Jiaki says that Brother Feng is coming. With a fake smile, the blonde guy offers to introduce his friends to the celebrity of the class. But our boy refuses the offer, saying he doesn't need to meet them, since they're not in the same league. Outraged, one of the rich guys questions our MC's arrogance, asking what he even has. And with an air of innocence, our hero says his family doesn't have a house or a car. Laughing in his face, the trio of playboys calls him crazy, but our boy says he has something else. Showing a black centurion card, he leaves Shaiwen with her jaw on the floor, as that's something only the super rich of the world possess. In shock, the two playboys yell that it's impossible for a guy with no house or car to have a card like that. Doubting its authenticity, the blonde guy says the fake is obvious, but our MC suggests they find out the truth by using the card. Not understanding his intention, the whole group wonders what he wants to do. And so, they arrive at a luxury car dealership, while one of the students reveals that the card is real, according to his bank executive father. Questioning the bet, our hero asks what the playboy would do if the card were real. And with a mocking tone, one of his friends says that if it's real, the two of them will eat crap. Handing the car to Peng Jiaki, our MC tells her to buy any car she wants. Explaining his generosity, he says he can't drive all the cars at Shaiwen's house, so he's going to buy one for her. Meanwhile, in an old castle in Europe, the situation is tense. Sitting on a throne, a blonde woman scolds her subordinates for not having found the head of the mercenaries. Complaining about their incompetence, she says the boss was on vacation and would be back in a month, but they didn't even contact him. Running desperately, a man in a hat says he has news of the boss because he used the black card in China. Confirming the information, the messenger says he's the head of the intelligence department and that he doesn't lie. Satisfied with the news, the blonde woman orders them to buy a ticket to China immediately. And with a mysterious smile, she asks them to buy 2 tickets and to call the Ghost King as well.